それでは、ただいまより鉄道ビジネスユニットの
We'll now start the session on the Railway Systems Business Strategy. The presenter is Senior Vice President and Executive Officer, CEO of Railway Systems Business Unit, Mr. Alistair Dormer. The presentation will be delivered in English. If you wish to listen to the translation, please make use of the receivers. Mr. Dormer, please.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Does everybody hear me okay? Excellent. Okay. Well, my name is Alistair Dormer. I'm the CEO of the rail business. So I've been CEO of the rail business for the last 3 years, and I've been a member of Hitachi for the last 14 years. So I think in the last 3 years, we've seen tremendous transformation of the rail business. We've relocated our headquarters to the United Kingdom, and we've dramatically transformed our business in terms of to become a real global business through the acquisition of the majority shareholding in Ansaldo STS and Ansaldo Breda. So I'd like to talk to you about our rail business this morning. So firstly, just an introduction to our business. You'll note from this slide we now have a very wide portfolio of products and services servicing the rail sector. The words in red here denote the new parts to our business which have joined our portfolio since the acquisition with the Ansaldo businesses. So you can see that we've strengthened in particularly our turnkey capability and our capability for driverless metros and our capability for mining technology. And we've dramatically expanded our global reach. So our headquarters, as I mentioned, is in the United Kingdom. We now have manufacturing in the United Kingdom, in Italy, and in the United States. And we have access to all of the world's global markets in terms of rail, which we're continuing to push and expand into. So looking at our top team, if I introduce my team, we have Masai-san, who is the Group Chief Operating Officer, Mitsunomi-san, who is the Managing Director of Japan and the Asia Pacific region and the Chief Strategy Officer, and Yabuta-san, who is the Chief Financial Officer for the group. The other members we have here, Yamada-san, Karen Boswell, Maurizio Manfilotto, and Andy Barr, make up what I believe to be a very, very strong, diverse top team of management for the rail sector. So what did we achieve in 2015? Well, I think it's been a very, very strong year for the railway business. We've exceeded our revenues by over 10%. We've increased our profitability. We have managed to acquire significant additional orders over and above our forecast. The only element that is showing slightly below our forecasted performance is our EBIT ratio. And this is for the main reason for that is because we exceeded our revenues dramatically, and our EBIT ratio was affected by foreign exchange rates, which I think has affected the Hitachi Group as a whole. Last year's been a very, very busy year. We closed the Ansaldo acquisition in November. We immediately rebranded Ansaldo Breda to become Hitachi Rail Italy, and we launched a tender offer for the remaining shares in Ansaldo STS. Now, the tender offer didn't go exactly how we expected it to, but we've achieved majority shareholding in Ansaldo STS. We've reformed the board of Ansaldo STS to reflect our majority shareholding, and we've reformed the various committees within the company. So I'm very confident that Hitachi can collaborate with Ansaldo SDS to deliver the projected improvements to our revenue and growth for the business overall. Within the business itself, again, it's been a very, very busy year. I will come on to show you a short video at the end of this presentation, which will give you a little bit more colour in terms of what we've achieved. But we've opened a new factory in the United Kingdom on time. We've opened a new factory in Miami in the United States for rolling stock. We've strengthened our position in Japan with some very solid business, and we've secured contracts in new markets, which I think is a very important foothold for developing those new markets. In terms of new orders, again, we've really strengthened our position in our core markets, in Japan, in the United Kingdom, and in Italy. And you can see from this chart how we've managed to win new orders around the world globally. So I think this really spreads out the influence of Hitachi Rail, and it reduces our reliance just on Japan and the UK, which was one of the main reasons behind the logic for the acquisition last year. Just a quick look at the market. The market for the railway sector remains very strong. So all of the macro economic indicators are supportive of further investment in rail. Also, environmental performance and population growth are all positive drivers towards continued investment in rail. If we look at the data that's provided by the industry groups, they're all showing a positive trend. We in Hitachi are seeing further growth, so more accelerated growth than the industry is forecasting. But what is important is, I believe, is the PPP sector, which is the public-private partnership sector. We are particularly strong. This is the combination of Ansaldo SDS's relationship with key partners, key construction partners, aligned with Hitachi's strong balance sheet and our very strong relationship with financial institutions, Japanese banks, which allows us to really push into this market sector, which I believe is going to be a growing sector for the future. Last year, we were around 1.3 billion euros of revenue. Following the acquisitions, we've moved much closer to the big three European players. So our projected revenues in 2016 will be around 4.2 billion euros, and we are planning further growth beyond that. But importantly, the red colour here denotes the fact that we're not just a rolling stock player or a component player. We are a full systems provider that can operate in each of the market segments. So let's just have a look at the integration and our strategy going forward. We have three strategic themes. We want to move our business globally. We want to move our business away from pure manufacturing to be more of a turnkey and service provider for long-term stable revenues. And we want to apply innovation to our business and technology going forward. So let's have a look at the global aspect first. Well, I think there is a great example here in the middle. Last year, we secured an order in the United Kingdom of around 68 billion yen for rolling stock. We did not have the capacity in the UK or Japan to manufacture this train. So these trains are being designed in Japan. They will be manufactured in Italy, and they will be tested in the United Kingdom and brought into service in the United Kingdom. So bringing together the three elements of our business is an absolute pressing, real business need to fully integrate our business, which we are doing on a rolling stock sector by combining all of our rolling stock factories under the leadership of Masai-san. So we can standardize quality, standardize production, and create the most efficient and optimized, balanced portfolio of factory outcomes. On the right-hand side there, you'll see how we are changing our geographic reliance. So back in 2014, we were predominantly 60% of our revenues were coming from Japan. In 2018, over 80% of our revenues will come from international markets. Also in 2014, 26% of our revenue was reliant upon the United Kingdom. We've now widened our European revenues, which again, I think, de-risks our exposure to one particular market. Looking at service, well, back in 2014, just 1% of our revenues was associated with service. We now move that towards 24% of our revenues in 2018 will be from turnkey and service revenues. And this is only the beginning, because in 2018, we will not be in full service operation for the IEP, or Intercity Express contract. So this we expect to grow further. And you can see from this map the contracts that we have around the world, which are associated with turnkey. And I'm delighted to inform you that in Taipei, we have recently done our first bid, combining Ansaldo STS and Hitachi, and we have just been announced as the preferred bidder for that opportunity, which again is a great example of the collaboration potential between Ansaldo STS and Hitachi Rail. And finally, innovation. Innovation is very much the future, how we leverage our IT capability to work with our railway system. So just to give you one example, where we are using data monitoring systems to monitor the speed of operation of our door system on our trains in the United Kingdom. So we therefore only maintain our door systems when we need to, rather than doing it on a periodic basis, therefore reducing cost for us and improving the overall performance of our train systems. So looking at our business performance in a little bit more detail, you see, compared to 2014, we had a record order intake for the Intercity Express program. So we forecast that our order intake would be somewhat reduced in 2015, but I'm very pleased to say that we've beaten those targets considerably. And then we've also added here the consolidated performance. This is just for 5 months since November of last year for the combined Hitachi Rail Italy and Ansaldo STS performance. But we now have a real record backlog of business going forward. So looking forward, 2015 to 2018, we have quite aggressive targets for growing our business in terms of our order intake. From a revenue point of view, the vast majority of our revenue, we believe, will come from backlog. From a growth point of view, we are forecasting over 13% growth for the business throughout the period, which is very strong performance. From a profitability point of view, we are amortizing the non-tangible assets associated with the acquisition. So we see in 2016 our EBIT ratio comes down slightly. The underlying performance of that is better. I'll cover that on the next slide. You will also note from this that we have a deterioration in our cash conversion cycle. This is because in 2016, we are at the absolute peak of manufacturing for our Intercity Express program, and we don't get cash in for that business until 2017 and 2018. So we will see a significant improvement in our cash performance by 2018, and I would expect this to be a normal type of operation for the rail sector. So looking at it in a different way, you can see the 2015 results, which was just the 5 months of consolidation. 2016, we are predicting 500 billion yen of revenue with 5.5% operating profit. I think the underlying profit level to the business, if we exclude the amortization, is around 7.5%. And this is really just looking at it in a different way, but you can see how our free cash flow is dramatically improved by 2018 as the cash starts coming in from the Intercity Express program. So in conclusion, it's been a really, really good year, a really exciting and busy year. We've beaten all of our forecasts for the business through very, very hard work from the team. Over the next 3 years, we will really transform our business into not just global, but transform our revenue mix much more towards the turnkey side of business and service. I think our revenue is now very well balanced between Asia and Europe, which is roughly 50-50, with growing revenues in emerging markets and in the United States. I think I'm very proud that our business is really the fastest growing rail business out there. We have real momentum, and we need to continue that momentum as we move forward.
それでは質疑応答に移らさ
We'd now like to open the floor for questions. In answering the questions, in addition to Mr. Dormer, we have Mr. Masai Kentaro, COO of Railway Systems Business Unit, Mr. Shinya Mitsudomi, CSO, and Mr. Yabuta, CFO. Any questions?
ご説明どうもありがとうございました。
Question. Thank you very much for the presentation. Page 21. I have one question about page 21. Upper right, order backlog. After consolidation, 1.1 trillion increase as a result of consolidation. Now, for this incremental order backlog after consolidation, for how many years is this going to contribute to revenues? That's my first question. And profitability of this piece. How should we be looking at the profitability of this order backlog that is rising out of consolidation?
Okay. Well, generally, our business life cycle tends to work on a 3 to 5 year horizon, depending on the nature of the contract. So if it's a rolling stock deal, it can be generally between 2 to 4 years. If it's a turnkey business, then it tends to be longer, up into around the 5 year period. So what generally you have to look at in terms of the book-to-bill ratio of the business, we're looking to win new orders to provide revenue from 3 to 5 years out, generally in terms of big contracts. In terms of profitability, we have some legacy contracts within Hitachi Rail Italy, which are relatively low profitability. We would expect those contracts to be worked through within the next 2 years. As we change the portfolio of our business more towards the turnkey and service element, again, we would expect to see stronger numbers come through. but I don't want to make you any promises at this stage. I think what we're predicting, operating profit around 8% in 2018, between 8 and 10% is really the target that we should be looking at longer term.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much.
質問ございませんでしょうか。
Next question.
じゃあこちらの真ん中の人の後ろの方で手を挙げられている男性の方。
ありがとうございます。
Thank you. Question. I have two questions. In the UK, Brexit possibility, what will be the impact? In the last midterm business plan, the president said that he's absolutely opposed to the idea of Brexit. But as the CEO of the division, how do you look at the possibility? And if there are any impacts, is there going to be any impact? Or is Italy going to function well in that scenario? And the next M&A, maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves, but you're growing very fast with M&A. Are you going to refrain from doing additional deals until the current one stabilizes, or are you going to continue to do more global expansion?
Okay. Thank you very much for your question. Very tough question, the first question. In terms of the Brexit issue, for those of us who live in the United Kingdom, we're getting pretty sick of watching this on the TV, actually, every night with politicians arguing. The reality is we expect we think there is a strong chance that the Remain vote will succeed so that the UK will stay within the European Union. Hitachi's made its position very clear that we support the fact that the United Kingdom is better placed within the European Union. Having said that, if there is a vote to leave the European Union, then I think it will take at least 2 to 3 years to work through what any transitional arrangements would be. Following the acquisition of the Ansaldo companies, I think we are much better balanced in terms of Europe in that unlikely scenario. So we are not taking any special measures or any special plans in anticipation of this situation arising. In terms of future M&A, well, we have been pretty busy in the last year. We are moving forward rapidly with integrating Hitachi Rail Italy and the rest of the Hitachi Rail Group in order to drive out cost and to optimize our manufacturing capacity globally. We're also working very hard with Ansaldo STS to collaborate on future revenue potential opportunities. So this is really the drive of the business over the next 1 to 2 years. We have a record order book and we have record levels of production. So what's very important for the business is that we continue to deliver on our existing promises whilst growing the business very strongly. In terms of future M&A, clearly my mind is not closed to future M&A. We could well see further consolidation in the sector, and it's something that is always under consideration if the right opportunity comes along, but we are not actively working on any deal at this moment in time.
よろしいでしょうか。他にご質問ございませんでしょうか。
Other questions? Yes.
日興証券の島田と申します。
Question. I have two questions. First one, turnkey business. You have been emphasizing the turnkey business. Please enlighten me about this turnkey business. If you could elaborate on this turnkey business. And on that, what are the risks associated with this type of business? What are the risks that can you contemplate? And what are the countermeasures being taken? And the profitability of turnkey business compared to product-based business, how is it? What are the expectations for profitability for turnkey business? So that's my first question. Please answer this question first.
Okay, thank you. It's a very, very good question. Turnkey business is really where we are looking at providing a whole system solution. So Ansaldo STS has got considerable experience in this market. So they've provided the whole metro system for Copenhagen. They're delivering the metro system for Riyadh in Saudi Arabia and have contracts in Honolulu and in Lima. Now, the advantage of a turnkey solution is that STS has significant experience as the technology integrator. So this is leveraging in not just rolling stock, but service, long-term service arrangements, the signaling technology, the traffic control technology, the automated fare collection technology. So there is a potential for us to bring in other Hitachi products and even products from other Hitachi group companies into this turnkey type environment. Now, you mentioned what are the risks associated with this type of business. Well, the risks are probably higher because you are more dependent upon the client, particularly in terms of for example, planning consent for the construction of a new railway. So it's very important that when you agree the contract with the client, you have the right risk allocation in terms of who is responsible if there are delays within the contract itself. I think Ansaldo STS has got a lot of experience in this area to manage the risk appropriately and to allocate risk better with the customer. Overall, because you are taking a slightly higher risk, you expect overall higher reward. For the integration aspect, you would expect double-digit returns. But clearly, to be competitive, the product that you are providing into this turnkey type arrangement is probably slightly lower margin, because rolling stock in particular is very, very competitive.
よくわかりました。2点目。
Thank you very much. Let me ask you the second question. In Asia, for new entries, if you could give us some hints about new opportunities in Asia, India, Thailand, Indonesia, Shinkansen bullet trains. Through ODA, Japanese government is likely to give a lot of strong support. I think you're positioned quite well in this environment. So your thoughts about this? I'm sure that you will not be able to talk everything about this, but if you could, to the extent possible, if you could let us know. And in China, they have a very large company as a result of integration. Indonesia, they competed against Japan. So competition against Chinese large makers. What are the business opportunities in Asia in that context? This is my second question.
Okay. Well, Asia is a very important part looking forward in the future. In the last 12 months, we've signed contracts in India for signaling in the dedicated freight corridor, which is backed by the Japanese government finance. And we've signed contracts in Thailand for the Red Line in Bangkok. We are actively looking at a number of opportunities. The support of the Japanese government is extremely important and is extremely welcome. China, we are working with CRRC as one of the significant suppliers. So I think our revenues in China are pretty stable. We wouldn't expect them to significantly grow, and it's an area where we know that we will be competing with CRRC, particularly in Asia. This is why the support of the Japanese government is very important. Mitsunomi-san, would you like to add any more color to that?
In Asia, as Alistair explained, the Japanese government's strategic diplomacy, in that context, there's a lot of ODA loans being provided, which is quite supportive for us. This is the market that we should be focusing on. So we're rolling out our activities in various places. In China, as was explained just now, there are two sides to this. In third countries, we're competing against them, but in the Chinese market, we're rolling out a stable business. So in that sense, we want to build a mutually reciprocated, beneficial relationship with them. As for CRRC, I basically consider them as a rolling stock manufacturer, but in terms of technology, are you thinking that they're not that strong in technology, especially for high-speed rail? If you could talk to us a little bit more about this. Well, we're not thinking that they don't have high level of technology because they're introducing various technology from various countries, and they have built their experiences. So technically, we're not writing them off at all. And their presence is likely to be enhanced going forward. So we want to add more value. Japanese Shinkansen technology as well as Italy's high-speed rail technology. These technologies should be honed. We should develop these technologies even further. Thank you. One last question. We're running out of time, so one last question.
男性の方お願いします。
Regarding Ansaldo STS, what is it that you cannot do under the current circumstances, and what do you need to do to solve this problem? Thank you.
Okay, thanks for your question. In terms of what we cannot do with our current shareholding, is we cannot fully integrate the business. So we will operate Ansaldo STS as a standalone listed company. I still think that gives us massive opportunity in terms of the revenue synergy that we originally planned within our business case for doing the transaction. We never forecast significant cost synergy through integration with Ansaldo STS. How do we solve that? Well, we're not in any hurry to solve that because I don't think we need to. Clearly, in the future, we will see how the business performs. We've got no intention at this moment in time to acquire further shareholding unless it is at a reasonable price. The price we offered for the shares in Ansaldo STS, I think, was a very fair, competitive price based on a 22% premium from the previous year on a share price that had actually been somewhat inflated due to speculation in the market. And I think it is my duty to Hitachi shareholders to make sure that we do not overpay for the additional shareholding in Ansaldo STS.
Thank you.
それではこれをもちまして鉄道
Thank you very much. That concludes the presentation by the Railway Systems Business Unit. Thank you very much.